Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of Morgan Geyser. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. For anybody unfamiliar with this case, Morgan Geyser is one of two adolescents who stabbed classmate Payton Leutner 19 times. Now, fortunately, Payton Leutner survived. She seems to be thriving now and is doing very well. Now, according to Morgan Geyser, she stabbed her classmate 19 times in the name of Slenderman. Slenderman is a fictional horror character that was created and popularized online. At the time of the stabbings, Morgan Geyser pled guilty. She ultimately spent a number of years in a mental health facility and was recently released to a group home. Very shortly after her release, she cut off her ankle monitor and ran. She was caught quickly, but we're going to be talking about long-term hospitalization, what we should do about long-term hospitalization, in addition to her body language. For anybody who regularly watches my channel, you may have noticed I was on a brief hiatus. That was because I had the flu, but now I am back. I should be back to my regular pace very, very soon. All right, let's just jump right in.
Where you guys from?
We're from south.
South?
How far?
Like how far?
Not that far. We're not living anywhere. We'll be fine tonight.
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys are warm.
Now, you'll notice from the body language at first, she seems unconcerned. Her body's open, she's scratching her head, she seems pretty casual about it. After a few seconds, you're seeing it sink in. You see the hands go behind her back. We do that when we're trying to hide something, so there may be some recognition. She may be realizing that this situation may be more serious than she initially thought.
How far?
Like how far?
Not that far. We're not living anywhere. We'll be fine tonight.
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys are warm.
We're fine.
You sure?
See, we're fine tonight. Immediately, her hands go behind her back.
I appreciate it.
No problem. I just want to make sure you guys have some place to want to stay.
No, we're always close.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
23?
Now, you just saw she reached down to grab a stuffed animal. Now, if you've seen me talk about liars before, when you've seen me talk about when people are trying to be deceptive, they love props. It's an odd prop. This is an unusual situation. But the idea that she is not telling the truth, the idea that she's trying to get away with something, holding something, having a prop of some kind, typically helps people feel more comfortable.
You want to stay?
No, we're always close.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
See, and as she's saying, we're always doing this. It was a little hard to hear, but basically she's facing away from the officer. The more she disengages, the more comfortable she's going to feel.
Oh, how old is she? 23? Okay.
I don't have my ID, but
All right, well, give him your name and date of birth, because we just got to make sure you're saying who you are, you say you are, okay? You're not missing them and stuff, okay? No problem. Thank you for calling.
You can notice a big shift in body language as well when she realizes the officer's not just going to go away. So I think the idea was say, we're sleeping wherever, just leave us alone, we're fine, don't worry about it. As soon as they're saying, we're going to insist on your name, your date of birth, we need your ID, you notice that she freezes right here. She recognizes the situation is more serious than she was taking it, but still, the gravity of the situation I don't think has fully set in on her yet.
Make sure you're saying who you are, you say you are, okay? You're not missing them and stuff, okay?
You notice how still she gets right there. Now, keep in mind, she was trying to manipulate before. She was saying, don't worry about it, no big deal. You guys can just keep going. We don't need anything. She did that so easily. She didn't seem to have much issue lying like that. And that goes to show that she may have a tendency towards being manipulative, which is obviously concerning when someone who is committed and act like she has is trying to stay out and basically be part of the public. So these are the kinds of behaviors that are very concerning when she's able to lie without showing a ton of problems lying, because people should feel very uncomfortable lying. We're seeing some signs of discomfort, but she did that pretty fluidly. There didn't seem to be a lot of issues with her lying.
Because I don't believe you're 23, that's why. Okay? And we got called here for a call, so just be honest. I want to make sure that you're not missing.
So you can see her touching her face before putting her hands behind her back again. That does help calm us down. Touching our face, touching our forehead, that calms us because we have lots of nerves here, makes us feel a bit more relaxed, particularly if we're in a high stress situation. Also, leaving her hood up, it's helping try to making her feel more protected, more obscured, makes her feel a little bit more invisible. So we're seeing a lot of signs of discomfort here as she's being pressured by this officer.
Called here for a call, So just be honest. I want to make sure that you're not missing. As long as you're not missing, you can go on your way. Are you missing from somewhere? Then just give me your name and date of birth, and you can be on your way.
You saw she didn't verbally say no either. She just shook her head. Much easier to do than to verbalize a lie.
18? That's fine. You're still an adult. So
Yeah. So what's your last name? No what?
I don't want to give you my name.
okay, well then we're going to arrest you and take you an ID. We're going to.
Now, you notice how blank her face typically is. She's really not showing you a lot in terms of facial expressions and whatnot. And I think a lot of that has to do with it. She really sees this as more of a game. She doesn't understand the seriousness of what is going on here. Obviously, she understands she's interacting with the police. She understands there's going to be consequences if they find out who she is. But the seriousness of the situation does not seem to fully be sinking in right now.
I don't want to give you my name.
Okay, well then we're going to arrest you and take you an ID. We're going to hold you an ID at the station for fingerprints. So you're.
And you see she's looking away, trying to obscure her face as much as possible. Unconsciously, we do that to disengage.
You don't want to obstruct an officer. Give me your name and date of birth. You're not wanted for murder, right?
Right.
Well, then you ain't going to have
You can watch her mouth right here. We see a sign of disapproval.
your name and date of birth. You're not wanted for murder, right?
When he asks for her name and date of birth, doing this, we do this when we're feeling disapproval. She just doesn't want to give it, but she has no control in this situation.
Right.
Well, then you ain't going to have a problem with us. I promise you. Okay? You're making it a bigger deal than it is.
Reese.
The media shapes perception more than truth, but Ground News offers a fix. This website and app gathers over 50,000 global articles daily. They organize them by story and show clear visuals on political bias, reliability, and ownership. Let me show you how it works. Here's a story about Trump signing a funding bill into law, ending a record-long government shutdown. Right away, you can see that over 1,000 news outlets reported on it. Below that, you can see that most of these outlets lean left. And further down the page, you can see who owns these outlets and how reliable their reporting is. But my favorite thing to do is to compare these headlines to see how biases affect framing. On the left, you have outlets like HuffPost, which has a high factuality rating, saying things like, Republicans hate a major provision in the bill to reopen the government. While Australian Financial Review, which is on the right, also has a high factuality rating, but they're saying, Trump signs bill ending pointless 6-week shutdown. You can clearly see from this coverage that different sources focus on different things. The HuffPost is trying to position this as a win for Democrats, and Financial Review is repeating Trump's words and blaming the Democrats for the shutdown. I've been using Ground News for a while now, and I really enjoy how it helps me see beyond the mainstream narratives. Ground News uncovers patterns in the way that today's news frames different stories, or even fails to cover them in the first place. And best of all, I'm giving my viewers 40% off their Vantage plan. It includes access to all of their incredible features. This discount is only available through my link, so go to ground.news/Dr. G, use the QR code here on the screen, or click the link in the description to get started for under $6 a month and support an independent news platform working to make the media landscape more transparent. All right, let's get back to the analysis.
Your last name is G-R-I-E-S?
Yes, please.
You said you what? That's your real name, right? Right. It's not a big deal. You'll be on your way, okay?
Now look at the way that her body is positioned against this wall right here. Now we see people do this when they want to appear non-threatening. So check this out. See, she's leaning against the wall, hands behind her back. The hands behind her back are suggesting there's some degree of defensiveness, obviously. When we take the weight off of our feet, that makes us seem like we are appearing casual, that we're appearing non-threatening. So when you see somebody lean against a wall or put one leg up, that's an attempt to appear non-threatening.
That's your real name, right? Right. It's not a big deal. You'll be on your way, okay?
My name George Robert. I have Edward's name.
You can see the way they're huddled together, heads down. This is a way to appear non-threatening. Once again, this goes back to much like leaning on the wall. This is a way to appear non-threatening. It doesn't necessarily mean you feel that way. It just means that's how you want to appear.
Well, now you did something wrong because just come back no record on files, and that means you're lying to us about your name. Okay? So
You could even see Morgan Geyser acknowledge that. He said, now you've done something wrong because you're lying to us about your name. She nodded her head. So she is basically acknowledging, yeah, like, I know I'm caught.
that means you're lying to us about your name. Okay? So now that's obstructing. I'm going to give you one more chance before we're going to take you in custody and fingerprint you. Okay? So Just be honest. It's not a big deal. You're making it a bigger deal.
Robert Tom, Sam Wilson, first name is Charles. Third initial, I'm married.
You can see a lot of the cuddling and all of that. I think that once again, that's to give the impression of I'm a victim here. I'm being mistreated. Look at how vulnerable I am. That's in essence what this body language is trying to say.
Because if he comes back, no record on file also, which I hope he doesn't, because that means both of you are lying. I'm going to take you both in for fingerprints. Okay? Don't make us do all that. We just want to send you on your way. No, you can't.
Record of Wisconsin as well, Charles Roberts.
You guys wanted for something?
Charles, I'm married.
Why are you hiding your name? I don't understand.
Well, you didn't come back with anything either, even out of Wisconsin.
I just don't want my identity out there.
Okay.
This is personal preference.
Okay. You can have that preference, but we're going to have that preference of taking you in and fingerprinting you. I don't know what you're so scared about.
What's your last name?
I didn't break the
Can we
law.
please let her go?
So
I didn't
You
break
did
the
by
law.
lying to the officer.
And you guys are loitering.
Cal statute
You're
of
loitering.
false identification at this.
Once again, we're seeing a degree of manipulation here, a degree of manipulativeness. This isn't somebody who doesn't know what's going on. She knows the situation very well, it seems, and is just trying to get out of it.
Which is a Class A misdemeanor, that's a arrestable offense. Therefore, you can be placed under arrest for that. Both of you, because you lied and you lied. You didn't give me your real name.
We got dispatched here because you guys are loitering in the back of the business. It's not a...
Now, when I talk about manipulativeness, the idea is manipulating someone into believing I've done nothing wrong. Please look how sad and sorry we are. We're so small. We're so fragile. We're victims here. Please let us go.
When there's signs posted, there's no loitering. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Okay? So it's not a big deal. What is your name? Don't make us arrest you and do all this extra stuff that we don't need to do.
We have other stuff to worry about.
I know. We got way more serious things to worry about than this. But we got called here. It ain't like we just walked up and started messing with you.
And not only that, but when we print you, it could take a day.
2 days.
So when I talk about being manipulative, it's the idea that she believes she's going to get somewhere with this. So believing that if she continues to push, continues to lie, continues to try to obstruct, that eventually that they will go away. And she may not understand the world and the way the world works well enough to know that's just not going to happen.
Come back before we so you'll be in our custody until we can release you. If you want to sit in a cell all day, that's fine.
And your prints might come back before him. So then that means that he would still stay at the station and you might get released. You might as well just avoid all of that and tell us your real names.
Look, if you want to stay in a cell for 3 days, by all means, we'll go this route.
Go on her thing. At this point.
So you'll notice she oftentimes stays silent, and that is a way to maintain control. Typically, when people are in these situations, they do feel some degree of pressure to respond. They do feel some degree of pressure to give in and to say, okay, like this is what we're going to do, because they can predict consequences well enough to go, okay, I should stop resisting. She is someone who seems to want to absolutely maintain control in this situation. And while you're going to see where it ultimately goes, she's resisting to her best ability right now.
We're just going to detain her.
Please let her go.
Then
Please let her go.
Then give me your name.
I did something wrong. She did.
What did you do?
She doesn't
wrong?
know what I did.
Okay, that's fine. I ain't.
Let me talk to you over here. Okay? I'll put
What
you
what is it that you did wrong?
I did something really wrong.
What?
47.
You see how plain her face looks right now. So this feels dramatic. There's something that feels inauthentic about these emotions. And that's what I think is confusing about people like this, that if you're not used to interacting with people that have this type of history, you don't understand the sort of level of inauthenticity that you sometimes get.
What did you do wrong?
47 assist roll by 500 rolls.
It's not that. It can't be that serious.
Charlie X-ray 3727.
And there's a look of disapproval again, but she's got her neck way up. She's got a very strong sense of pride right now, despite the fact she's also defensive with her hands hidden.
We don't want problems with you, okay? We just need to ID you. That's it.
Okay. Now, I ain't
What
trying
did
to
you
have
do wrong?
a conversation for 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week. See
What?
if come back. Okay. Unless that's what you
She
want to
doesn't
do.
know my real name.
Okay. Well,
So you can see her shaking her head when he asks what she did wrong. Once again, maintaining control through silence.
Go ahead.
give him your real
Give me
name.
your
Don't tell
information.
him.
I don't care about her records. They're dealing with you. Okay? Can't give me your information? Why? What can you get all that extra?
So Morgan is your first name, right?
Yes.
Geysер.
No.
Let me say goodbye, please.
Okay, we will.
I will never see her again.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
304.
Why?
Because I did something bad. Let me say goodbye.
We will let you say goodbye, but just stand by until we figure out what's going on.
See, one thing we're not seeing much of is attempts to calm herself down. And we do that when we're feeling particularly agitated or upset. That's why I talk about this sort of inauthentic emotion, is that body language-wise, you're not really seeing much. She's staying pretty open. And I think that she sees a lot of this as drama. She sees this as maybe fun in some ways. So you're seeing how open her body is remaining. Now, there's times I've obviously pointed out where she was defensive, where she was trying not to give in. But at this point, I think the depth of anxiety that you would expect her to feel doesn't appear to be there. There's really not a lot of self-soothing behavior right now. So I think that, once again, a lot of this is performative.
Okay?
You
I
promise.
promise I'll let you say goodbye.
No matter what I did.
Yeah, no matter.
Last name.
That's my word, okay?
Okay?
Okay? You're being honest with me.
I'm being honest. That's my name. Trust me, I didn't want to give it to you.
Okay.
You'll see why in a second. But she didn't know my name.
What about 119 men on hostage?
You
She
just put
said
him in.
E, right?
Yeah, E.
304.
Now you see she's got her hands in front because she actually doesn't have anything to hide in that sense. Now they know her name because that obviously is her real name.
Go ahead and put your hands in
You
the
said I could say
I will
goodbye.
let you. You guys going to the same place, okay?
I promise you didn't know.
Okay.
And her continuing to say, I promise she didn't know, does suggest that she understands the idea of being an accessory to a crime or something like that. Fear that by proxy that her friend is going to get in trouble. Now we're going to watch her in the police car as she's getting ready to be processed.
I'm sorry.
Now, what we're seeing here to me appears performative. This doesn't seem to be like a real authentic expression of sadness or emotion. To me, this appears to be a performance. There's certain markers we look for in the face. And this just doesn't look consistent with someone who is truly feeling sad, someone who's truly feeling regret right now. This seems like a performance.
So sorry.
Now, this head position right here, we typically associate with shame.
Sorry. So sorry. So sorry.
In some ways, the verbalizing of it, the expression of it outward, saying it so explicitly, that's part of what makes it feel so performative as well. And just like that, a lot of the tears appear to be gone. So now we're going to take a few minutes to talk about long-term hospitalization, where it was and where it is now and where the problems are. So basically, between the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we were deinstitutionalizing. Medication was getting better. There were a lot of problems in the long-term hospitals. That is true. And so we started to deinstitutionalize. The government stopped funding them. And most of the long-term mental health care facilities went away. We really don't have that many now. As a mental health professional, as someone who's dealt with a lot of people with a lot of very serious issues, in my opinion, we actually need to go back to a long-term mental health facility model. That is needed because right now, the way we have it is not working. Releasing people to group homes that need to be in mental health facilities potentially for their entire lives. I'm not saying that's true of Morgan Geyser. She's got her own treatment team, so on and so forth, but there definitely are people that do. Having knowledgeable judges is also very, very difficult. I have seen judges make some wild choices about letting people to be back out on their own. Dangerous people to be out on the streets. People that absolutely need to be confined to just walk free and to say nothing and do nothing about it. Our ability to protect the public from people with serious mental health problems is a major crisis in this country right now. That being said, the overwhelming majority of people who have serious psychiatric illness are a danger to no one. But that doesn't change the fact that there are dangerous people out there and they need to be able to do something with them. And it is very, very hard to get them to stay anywhere for very long. So I can't say this is specific to Morgan Geyser. Her situation just made me think about this. But I can say there are people that need to be in mental health care facilities for decades or their entire lives. There are absolutely people who will never be safe for the public, and it is very hard to know what to do with them because sometimes they're released back out to the public, sometimes they just stay out in the public. There are absolutely better solutions than having mentally ill people either in prison or homeless right now. That is not the best solution. So we went from a state of over-institutionalization to a state of under-institutionalization, and we've got to find somewhere in the middle to settle things. Now, it's going to take a lot of money, a lot of resources, and it's going to take the government getting involved to rebuild some of these long-term facilities. But being either homeless or in prison is not the best solution for them or for the public at large. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Hopefully this is helping you better understand some of the behavior and body language that we saw. Morgan Geyser appeared to not take the situation maybe as seriously as she should. She's someone who may not know how to navigate the world. She spent most of her adolescence in a mental health facility, and now, obviously, when released to a group home, she tried to run out and be off on her own again, and maybe just doesn't take these situations as seriously as she should. Hopefully, whatever decision is made by the courts is the best decision for her and for the public. If you have any other thoughts about this, or if there's anything else you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comments below. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.